On cup final day we have an early start. We come in and make sure the trophy is cleaned and ready for the presentation. When we're waiting for the final whistle to go, it's a nervous moment waiting to see which team's going to win it. You can't help but get caught up in the drama and the action and the buzz of the day, and it's great seeing the stadium come to life, hear the roar of the fans. We're inside the stand, you can feel the stand shake when the final whistle goes and you know they're waiting for you to bring out the trophy. It's a very serious moment, but it's always one of the best moments.
The danger is with the trophy that you take it for granted when you work so closely with it over a long period of time. It's important sometimes for someone to come in from another part of the world to tap you on the shoulder and tell you how amazing that item is.
For me, it's one of the most important trophies in world football. Of course, we all know it's the oldest trophy in world football.
Our leading national trophy. It's the major cup competition in the country.
It's every schoolboy's dream, winning the Scottish Cup when you're a young lad. The trophy's 150 years old, so like anything that's 150 years old, it needs a lot of looking after, and the guys do it really well. It's got pride of place within the museum. It's important that that's showcased.
It's one of the best picture opportunities in the museum.
Yeah.
We always point it out because it's right at the start of the museum.
At the start of the museum.
They've got their phones out and they're looking for their own teams on the cup as well.
They're surprised, I think is the best expression, because they don't expect to see it. They want to see, and then they say, well, that's the original Scottish Cup.
Let's get ready to rumble!
The Scottish Cup is a jewel in the museum collection, and like all jewels, it shines brightest when it's in use. Teams and fans compete to win the cup, and when they do, the memory of that day echoes down through the generations. Remember when we won the cup.
When the young men started Queen's Park in 1867, they really weren't quite sure how to move forward. They joined the Football Association in 1870 and actually took part in the first ever FA Cup competition. But they then thought, why don't we have a football competition of our own in Scotland, our own national cup competition? So they wrote to the other leading clubs of the time, arranged a meeting, and at that meeting the Scottish Football Association was inaugurated and a new national cup competition was set in place.
Ben's in trouble, this needs kick! The super sub has done it again! Rudy Scats, St Johnstone League Cup winners, history makers!
Cup final day at Hampden Park is like Christmas Day meets your birthday. It's the final day of the season. Like everything's came to this point. If you're lucky that your team's in the final, you're going to come to the stadium, you're going to watch it, you're going to watch it with your pals, your family in the house. It's the best day.
Sunshine and a strong west wind greet Celtic and Clyde as they meet for the Scottish Cup final at Hampden before a crowd of well over 100,000.
1955 Cup final. It's iconic, first of all, for being the first televised Scottish Cup final. It's probably iconic for the fact that it was the only game when a corner kick was scored. It still is to this day. Scored by Archie Robertson from Clyde.
From Robertson swerves inwards and over Bonner's head. A goal, a beauty.
I knew Archie, and he signed me as a footballer when I was a young teenager. I had a great respect for him. If there was any cup final I could have went back and been there at, that's the one I'd have went to. The 1973 Cup final was the last Cup final in Scotland with 100,000 fans at it. They sold 134,000 tickets for the Cup final, Celtic Rangers. I remember standing at the barrier at Hampden. I remember the sheer scale of people at these games. It takes your breath away. Rangers won the game 3-2, and they won it with a famous goal by Tom Forsyth. Tom scored a goal from 6 inches.
And he nearly missed. And they reckon that it was his length of his studs that managed to make connection with the ball to score.
I was actually feeling perfectly okay. Things changed for me on the bus journey going to Hampden because we went through Paisley on the way up, and I could see dozens of people in black and white, and my immediate thoughts were, if I make a mistake here, I'm going to let all these people down. So, to be honest with you, if Alex Smith, who was the manager of St Mirren, if he'd come up to me and said, look, I'm leaving you out today, I'd have shook his hand actually and said, thanks very much. I was that nervous. We had a lot of young players in our team that were technically sound, But we had a bit of experience with Frank McGarvey and Billy Abercrombie and Neil Cooper, guys like that were able to sort of help the young ones along. We had Paul Lambert, who was 17, David Winnie, Brian Hamilton, Ian Cameron, all 20 years of age. Ian Ferguson, who scored the winning goal, was 19. But they coped well with it. It was more about how the experienced players coped with it on the day. And thankfully it went well for us. But I have to say the final whistle, the actual realisation that he had actually achieved something, was magic. We drove to Barrhead to get picked up by an open top bus. It was a dreich night though, I have to say. It was very, very wet, but there was 10,000 people in at the town hall waiting for us coming back. It was just a wonderful experience.
As a 5-year-old, my first season supporting Kilmarnock, we reached the Scottish Cup final where we played against Falkirk at Ibrox, and I remember, you know, a sea of buses just leaving the town and a sign at the top of the town saying, "With the last one to leave, please turn out the lights." Paul Wright's winning goal, which, you know, it's not going to win the Puskás Award anytime soon, but it was a great goal for us. The late offside scare that we had in the last minute, and then Ray Montgomery going up to lift the cup, it's just absolutely fantastic. And when it's a smaller town, I think that these memories really do matter.
It was an unbelievable high because you've got that dream you have when you're a young boy. The match itself went through very, very quickly. You know, I've only actually watched the game once since then. After the match, you know, when I actually got presented with the club, I was fortunate enough, I was the captain that day, and you've seen this cup on TV when you're a young lad, then you're within touching distance away from it, you've won it, and you're getting presented with it, and actually lifting it, and I sort of tripped on the way up, and you're going to lift this cup, and I'm saying to myself, oh geez, if I see a drop or something like that, because I'm not used to lifting cups and all that, and everything that's involved with the Scottish Cup, and I just remember going up there, getting it presented to me that day, and it feeling so light, and it felt as if all the Kilmarnock supporters were lifting it with me that day. You know, actually I was lifting it for a cause, you know, and brilliant. I've heard the saying, you know what I mean? One pleasant memory is better than 1,000 dreams, and I'm so glad I experienced that memory.
The Scottish Cup has to be viewed in that really high category. It's the top 10 football exhibit in the world because it's the oldest national trophy, and that's what teams play for. And worldwide, they play to win trophies. We've got the oldest.
To me, in many ways, it epitomises Scottish football, the history, the tradition, the competition, something that supporters generally and the public at large can take pride in.
A little opening here for Tom Rogic. Celtic.
It's every kid's dream to lift the Scottish Cup. Like, absolutely, it was my dream to lift the Scottish Cup. So when you get to see your team do it, you feel as if you're part of that journey.
The cup is the jewel in our collection, and we're just one part of its history, and it will go on long after us, just like it's continued long before us.
Put that away. It's over.